Join us every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern for the sis Laila Live call-in and answer show. Please join Ustada lailanasheeba. If you have any questions in regards to this theme, call in at 862-370-2838. Now streaming on various platforms right here on Sunnahfollowers.
Whoever's doing your thing. And by the way, what are you getting a pierce today? Let's talk about it.
Any other questions?
This is gonna be good.
Welcome to Ask Sister Laila Live.
And by the way, what are you getting a pierce today? Let's talk about it.
Wait a minute.
Time for the Ask Sister Laila Live Show.
This is
Lines are now open. 862-370-2838. Ask Sister Laila Live. Sister Laila Live. Weekly for the show at the hour. Ask Sister Laila Live. Sister Laila. Invite your friends and family. Make it cozy. Ask Sister Laila.
What's real thing?
Ina alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salamallah, wa rasulallah. Welcome everybody to the Ask Sister Laila Live Show. Is the sound okay there on YouTube, anybody? Because, you know, since those issues we had yesterday, I don't want to ever repeat that. Is the sound good on YouTube?
Yes.
I mean, not here, Sabreen, you're not on YouTube. On YouTube.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, hold on, let me, yeah, I want to make sure because I'm telling you, yesterday we missed so much of that introduction. And by the way, the lectures from yesterday, I have posted them. A couple of you were asking of the wonderful lecture that Dr. McBride did. Yes, it's I did edit it and I posted it up on our YouTube channel under videos. You will see it, the edited version. It's just that nothing I could do for that intro. And I really feel bad about it because Dr. Jamali gave such a wonderful intro. And, you know, but inshallah, we learn from our mistakes. Inshallah, that will never happen again. I think the women know to get on that microphone and talk, whether it kills them. They're going to have to take the mic because I can't replace that. But anyway, the lecture is there. And by the way, just to let everybody know, I talked with Dr. Jamali today, and we've decided the book that Dr. Daniel McBride, the book that he wrote, it took him all these years to put that book together. That book addresses many of the issues that a lot of the new shahadas are having. A lot of the questions that my new shahadas are coming to me with about how they're having a problem transitioning from Christianity to Islam, and we even got many who are transitioning from Judaism to Islam too. And just to let y'all know, how many of you have heard of the Black Jews? You heard of them, haven't you, Sabreen? The Black Jews?
Yes, I have. I've seen a lot of them in Los Angeles.
Well, do you know that a lot of them are watching us here? I didn't know that until after I talked with Dr. Jamali. We have a lot of those Black Israelites who converted to Islam, and they're struggling too. And I don't know what these people believe in or whatever, but they believe that they're the lost tribe of Israel. Well, a lot of them are listening to my shows. A lot of them are participating in my classes, and I didn't know that. So Dr. Jamali was telling me today that this book, the book that Dr. Daniel McBride wrote, addresses all of that, the Torah, the Bible, and why, you know, and how it's all about the Quran. Now, he doesn't go into Bible study. You know, that's haram. Should no Muslim on this planet, no Muslim on planet Earth should ever read a Bible, because the original Bible don't even exist anymore. It never existed since the Quran. Okay, and as Allah says, whatever good he did put in those other books, the Bible and the Torah, it's in the Quran. So it's not a book with the Bible and none of that stuff in it. Okay, but what it is a book that he put together, that Dr. McBride put together, addressing some of the concerns, from what I understand, addressing the concerns that many new shahadas have that's hard in their transition. And so what me and Dr. Jamali came up with today, really was Dr. Jamali. He decided that perhaps it would be better, since we have so many new shahadas. I have 25 new shahadas, me and Mukhtar. You know, a lot of them came from Mukhtar too. Me and Mukhtar got 25 of them here. Well, Dr. Jamali got some of those black Israelites who have converted. They're here. So we decided that it would be better for Dr. McBride to teach his book. You guys understand? So he'll be doing his class every Thursday, but he'll be teaching his book. And once his book that he put out, it's not on Amazon yet, but once it gets on Amazon, Geechee, get ready for that. We're going to need another jingle for his book and all of that. And that's what we decided it would be better. I mean, the Q&A like we did yesterday was okay, but I can answer those questions. The questions that, you guys asked yesterday, I handle those questions every day. Okay, but we need to go into depth about how Islam is not like any other way of life, how Allah addresses relationships in the Quran, how he addresses what the role of a husband is, the role of a wife, the role of children, and all of that. So that's what we'll do. And I'll get more information on you about that class, about once the book is, he said the book should be there by next week, inshallah. Okay. And also, guys, just to let everybody know too, we're doing so much here. The classes that I'm teaching here are so in depth. We're giving you the information that you need to get to paradise. Aqidah, aqidah, aqidah. Okay. And then we have the seerah, the stories of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the stories of the companions, like Brother Mukhtar's teaching. This is the history of Islam. And also you are learning about those companions who were the best of this nation, who nobody on this planet understands the deen better than any of them. So all the lectures and classes that we're holding here are the information that all of us need, to get past the questioning of the grave and to get past, the Surah bridge. So make sure you guys share the information with other Muslims that you know, and so they can also, you can get the reward of this dawah and all of that. Okay. And so also let everybody know that's the number. Any questions that you all have about Islam, you can type them on the screen. Start typing them now, because, I have Sheikh Morsi on standby, and also Dr. Jamali is around too. You can type your questions on the screen if you are on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, D-Live, Twitter, any of those 5 platforms. I will be able to see what you type. Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. Yeah, that's where my Arabs are. My Arab people are on LinkedIn. Yeah, and D-Live. D-Live is a gaming site. Somebody asked what D-Live is. That's another. The kids like the game. D-Live is a gaming site. And Twitch. Twitch is a gaming site. I got a lot of followers on Twitch, and Twitter, X, Twitter. If you're on there, I can see what you type. Now, for those of you who are on Rumble, I cannot see what you type, but you all know how to text me, or you can join YouTube and type your question. The people on Odyssey, I am logged in on Odyssey, so I can see anything that you guys type here. I'm looking on here now. Let me type salam. I can see anything that you guys type here on Odyssey. Yeah, that's me. I'm here. Okay. All right. Yeah. Walaikum salam. I got my laptop going over there. And also another way you can get your questions answered, you can call in. I do have the phone here. That's our call-in number. Don't call my personal phone. You ain't getting no answer. But that's the phone. 862-370-2838. 862-370-2838. I have it right there on the screen. That's the phone number. You can call in your question if you want to be anonymous. Or you can type your question in our WhatsApp group. Most of you are in our WhatsApp group. Sister Famay, y'all going to be keeping an eye on that group too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Sister Famay will keep an eye on the WhatsApp group and also Instagram. You on Instagram too, Famay?
Yeah.
Okay, my baby on everything. Famay, boy, I wouldn't know what I'd do without her. Yeah, also on Instagram. Any questions you have on Instagram, Famay is there and she'll be able to share those questions too. So you can call the number in at 862-370-2838. We have operators standing by, or you can type your questions on Instagram too, or you can join the Zoom room. If you would like to use the microphone, like one of the brothers here, yeah, you can. Yeah, if you like, but I'm gonna let me talk about this for a minute. This brother here on Odyssey, let me just, because I noticed you've been doing a lot of typing. I don't know who you are, but I'm pretty sure I'm old enough to be your grandmother. So let me share something with you brothers. If you would like to come into my Zoom room, you're welcome. It's www.sunnahfollowers.net. But understand, I have a lot of people on standby. And the people on standby are all females. One thing about a woman, women suffer with PMS. Oh, yeah. And we got older women. Even the older women have PMS. It's called menopause. When women have PMS and menopause, they don't have much patience. Oh, yeah. Have you ever heard of Lorraine Bobbitt? That's why I'm telling you I'm old enough to be your grandmother. Lorraine Bobbitt, woman in the 80s. How did she make fame? She cut off a special part of her husband's body because she caught him cheating. She didn't do a day in jail because she had PMS. So let there be some advice to you brothers. If you do want to come into the Zoom room and use the mic, understand that you better come with a question. Do not come to try to be a teacher or a scholar, because the boss daddy of this website is named lailanasheeba. Okay? So word of advice to the wise. Don't get on that mic thinking you can challenge me or teach or correct, because I don't take corrections from nobody except one person. And his name is Abu Atayib. That's it. If you ain't Abu Atayib, don't get on that mic, because you out of your league. You got it, bro? All right. That's right. This ain't no young girl you playing with. All right. So I just want to give that advice to the brother here on Odyssey. Yeah, he's apologizing. Alhamdulillah. You apologize? Alhamdulillah. Yeah, how old are you, brother? Just for the record. I would assume you between the ages of 25 and 32. Am I right? And you think I'm what? You think I'm 20 or 30? You think I'm new to the game, right? You think I'm your equal, right? I'm 63 years old. I got great grandkids somewhere out there. So I'm the wrong one. You got it? Oh yeah, I'm not on your level. No way, shape, or form. Intellectually, physically, or anything else. So you got the wrong one. Don't let looks deceive you. 63. Okay, that's right. I don't get that. Thank you. He's apologizing. All right. Okay, so that's what you guys can do. You can put your questions on the screen, inshallah, and I have to get rough and tough because I'm a female dyer. They don't give the brothers these problems, but being a woman, I ain't no different than Aisha radiallahu anha. She had to check the people too. So a woman has to be rough and tough publicly. Otherwise, they'll try to take her down. I go down fighting. All right. Okay, so let's get these questions going. Go ahead. Any questions? Let's get them out.
Yeah, the first question is, can you please explain Surah Ikhlas of when to say it 18 times? Can I say it in English?
Okay, first of all, the Quran was not revealed in English, guys. The Quran was revealed in Arabic. And Arabic is a language, not a religion. There are a lot of Arabic words that do not even translate into English. That's why when I'm doing my series on the names of Allah, a lot of you struggle. I have to tell you that the names, the meaning that they're giving is not a good meaning a lot of times. And I'll have to call Dr. Asim, who's a scholar of the Fusha language, or I'll call Sheikh Morsi, who's a scholar of the Fusha too, and ask them to give me a better meaning because the English translation is really not good. And that is why when you make salah, the only surah of the Quran that you have to recite is Al-Fatiha. But we do not recite Al-Fatiha in English because the English meaning is not it. That's why the Prophet said, until you learn the Fatiha, whenever we're making salat, you simply say, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, La ilaha illallah, and Allahu Akbar, because these words are easy on the tongue, meaning it's easy to pronounce no matter what language you speak. And I know there's a lot of people that may tell you that you can say the Fatiha in English. This is incorrect. No, you cannot. Plus, reading off a paper. If you're reading the Fatiha, how can you focus? You simply say Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, until you learn it. So if that's the case with the Fatiha, then that's the same case with the other verses of the Quran. You learn the meaning in English. But if you're going to recite the Quran, Brother Abdullah, you recite it in the Arabic, because the English is the meaning. But if you want the reward of a surah, you recite it in the language it was revealed in. Do you understand? So Surah Ikhlas is real easy to learn. It's one of the smallest surahs of the Quran. I learned the Ikhlas when I was a child. In fact, it was my godmother, Sister Kalima. She was the one that taught me Kul Hu Allahu Ahad. I learned it in 2 hours. My godmother, I remember when I was around 8 or 9 years old, my godmother came over and said, Laila, say Kul Hu Allahu Ahad, and I repeated after her. I learned Ayat Kursi in 1 week from the Imam of my masjid, who was Mukhtar's father, Imam Mutawa. For those of you know Imam Mutawa, I learned the the Ayat al-Kursi from him. In 1 week, he had us learn that. So, you know, and I remember him even telling us, you know, that English ain't gonna get it with that. You know the meaning of it. And I remember him telling us, and I was only 12 years old. I was 12 years old. And I remember Imam Mukhtar's father, saying the English ain't gonna get it. He said, y'all need to learn this in the Arabic. And he came and made us all learn it and tested us on it. So the same thing with the Ikhlas, learn it in Arabic. Until you learn it, just don't say it. Because it's not, you don't have to say it in your prayers anyway. Okay? And in regards to what Sheikh Saud was speaking about, Sheikh Saud was speaking about the many different names of Surah Ikhlas. And he was speaking about how Surah Ikhlas is a protection for us. Once you learn it in the Arabic, Brother Abdullah, Surah Ikhlas is a protection for sickness, and it'll also protect you from the jinn and all of that too. But you have to, if you wanted to serve that purpose, you need to learn it in Arabic. And Allah made it short and easy on the tongue. Okay? And you don't have to say it 18 times. You don't even have to say it 3 times. All you have to do is say it 1 time. That's the beauty of this religion. That's the beauty of the Quran. You don't have to say them a certain number of times for them to be effective. All you got to say it is once. Okay, so, learn Surah Ikhlas in Arabic. And by the way, let me remind everybody, Monday through Thursdays at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, you can join my Zoom room. Brother Abdullah, join the Zoom room, and Brother Malik. Brother Malik is one of my students, and he will work with you to teach you Qul Hu Allahu Ahad. Yeah, so he can have you memorize it in 2 weeks, inshallah. Okay? Because it's one of the easiest surahs. Most of the kids learn it when they're kids. Yeah, but no, you have to learn it in Arabic, not English. And you don't have to say it 18 times. You can say it 1 time. And Allah knows best. Yeah. Any other questions about that? Everybody else good on that? And by the way, next week, Sheikh Saud is going to take everybody through the meaning of the Surah Ikhlas. He's going to tell you what it truly means. His Arabic, he's a scholar of the Arabic language too. And also, he's excellent in English. So he'll be able to break down the meaning of it to you very well. Yeah, he's a scholar of the Fusha too. We got some good teachers here. I'm telling you, the brothers that we have here are bona fide. We got real shoot here. We ain't got no fake bladed people here. Alhamdulillah. Yeah. Any other questions in there? And by the way, for the people in Zoom, let me remind you, if whoever's in Zoom, if you have any questions, don't send them to me. Don't private message me, because even though I'm facing you, I'm not in Zoom. I'm on a streaming program. I can't see anything that's going on in Zoom. I can't see no names or anything. So, and I definitely can't see any messages. So any private messages, send them to Sister Fame. Inshallah, Sister Fame can answer them. Yes. Sister Sabreen, did you have something you wanted to share with us?
I was just, yes, I did in the class today, not today, but recently I have been aware of and very grateful for one of the being able to understand when you teach us about how many times the religion is looked at when a woman differs in the way she
discusses or explains what she has learned in the religion of Islam, how it's not always looked, I mean, it's many times it's looked down upon. At least that's the impression. If I'm wrong, may Allah forgive me, and may somebody please clarify this. But many times I have brought different subjects up. Like right now, I am learning more about the fitra, and it is like an awakening for me, because it's like a shining light to me, and I see that it's positive. I see it as a blessing from Allah, because it helps me to look at myself and the religion of Islam in a more positive, learning way. But it's not always taken that way. You know, I have had brothers seem like they were, you know, the way that they corrected me when I said that I am searching for my fitra. I did not mean that I'm out looking for a broom or something physical. I'm searching for something spiritual and within myself. And they could not seem to understand that. And so that's why I brought it up to you, Sister Laila, that maybe you could better comment on this, because and it's positive. It's a good thing. And I've learned it from the book, the trilogy, where it discusses the fitra.
Mm-hmm.
It's an inner light.
Yeah.
Something that I could learn. I have learned so much.
Yeah, we have to remember, guys, it just takes us back to what we talked about in my class series on the signs of the last hour. We have to understand this is the year 2024. It's been over 1,500 years ago. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was here in the year 600 and something. This is 2024. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam made the statement. He told the companions, he said, this nation will become further and further and further away from the true Islam, to the point where they'll have no knowledge or understanding of even the basics. The people won't even know the lawful from the unlawful. They won't know anything about me, my sunnah, or even about you, my companions. He said, my example and my sunnah will become abandoned, and it will be replaced with opinion and Islamic verdicts that go against what I said, against what I did, against what Allah said. You know, so we're living in those days. And remember, we talked about in my series, let me go over that hadith with you guys again. Look at this hadith. And the source of this hadith is Sahih Bukhari and Muslim. Remember, I went over this with you guys. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, right before the hour, there will be much killing. He said, but the Muslims will not be killing the non-believers. Instead, the Muslims will be killing each other. They'll kill their neighbors. They'll kill their own brother. They'll kill their own uncle. They'll kill their own cousin. And when he said this, the companion said, what? Is it because we'll be crazy or something? He said, no. Instead, the reason why the Muslims will be killing each other is because they'll be feeble-minded. They will have no knowledge, no understanding of the religion at all. They will think that they are following the true Islam, but in reality, they'll be following nothing. This hadith is Bukhari and Muslim, and this hadith, this is what we're living in today. You know, most Muslims today do not have any knowledge of the religion. It's known as the Ruwaybidah. You know, remember, you guys have heard me speak about the Ruwaybidah. Who are the Ruwaybidah? These are the most ignorant people you could ever meet. They can tell you all about the politics that's going on in the world. They'll be able to tell you all about what's happening in the world. But if you were to ask them the basics of Islam, if you were to ask them the pillars of the prayer, for example, they won't know what they are. If you were to ask them, what does La ilaha illallah mean? They won't know that either. But they'll have a lot to say about what's happening in the world. These are the people that will also issue Islamic verdicts that go against what Allah said, what the Prophet said. These are the people that will tell you this is haram, that is haram. They will change the religion. These are the people that will follow in the footsteps of the Jews and use science to change this religion and make things unlawful that Allah made lawful. So it shouldn't be a surprise to any of you Muslims, male or female. That's why I was telling you guys earlier, we have to be careful how we behave with each other. Don't argue with people. Don't debate with people. Because like the Prophet said, it'll be so bad that you will argue with an ignorant man who doesn't know the religion, and he'll end up killing you as a result. That's happening. You'll argue with an intelligent man, and that man will hate you. That's happening. So this is why I've been trying to tell you guys, I know a lot of you, your fitra has been reawakened. You feel pumped because you've never felt this close to Allah in a long time, because you guys are learning Islam in its truthfulness with the understanding of the companions, not the understanding of a methab or a sheikh. But like I told you guys the other day, nowhere does Islam say that we have to go knocking on people's doors and forcing our knowledge on them. Nowhere does Islam say that it's an obligation of each and every one of us to take the knowledge that we have learned and go throw it up to the people. No, we're only obligated. And I want all of you, Sister Sabreen and everybody, to pay attention. As Muslims, we are only obligated to share this knowledge with those who come seeking it. That's the difference. I'm not going to go to a pompous person. This brother here who thinks he knows the deen. He thinks he knows the deen so much that he's calling himself a mufti. That's an arrogant, pompous idiot. What would I look like going to him trying to share my knowledge? He's going to turn on me and flick me away like I'm a cockroach, because he's already suffering from pompousness and arrogance. The title that he's given himself is proof of that. So what you brothers and sisters are going to have to do, which is what I've been trying to tell you, share your knowledge with the people close to you, the people who love you. Save your family. Share it with your children, your husband, your brother, your sister, who love you. and who really wants to learn. But going to the mosque thinking that you're going to share it with that mufti who call himself a mufti when he ain't no mufti. That's an arrogant title. Moses learned that lesson, that we don't call ourselves no mufti. Okay? Thinking you can share the knowledge you learned here with him or anyone that ain't seeking it, you're putting yourself in a bad situation, because these are the days of killing. These are the days the prophet said we will kill each other over nothing, because we're emotional. We're arrogant. We think we know the deen because we got a title. So y'all got to be careful. Be selective who you talk about this religion to. I'm going to be honest, because true dawah is not from your tongue anyway. True dawah is from your behavior, your actions. That's dawah. We give dawah through our actions. The people can look at you and see how you're living your life, how you're carrying yourself. That's showing them that you are upon the right path. How you conduct yourself, the choices you're making in life, that's the dawah. But when it comes to opening your mouth, unless a person comes to you seeking that knowledge, I wouldn't offer it. Because if you offer it, you might end up in a bad place. It's happening. People are getting shot down, gunned down, attacked. Not by the non-believers, but by crazy Muslims who are quick to call you a kafir because your way of thinking is not like theirs. So you brothers and sisters have to be careful. Only if they come seeking it. If they're not seeking it, show them through your actions. Like I do. I show people through my actions. And in the real world, I don't sit around talking about my religion to nobody. I carry myself with dignity, humility, and balance. And the people know she's a queen. Oh, yeah. I act like a queen in the public. And that's how I get treated. Okay? All right. So I hope that helps with that. Yeah, any other questions or comments on that? Go ahead.
Here's a question on Facebook. The sister said, since last Thursday, I'm in the hospital due to shortness of breath and coughing, and I was not able to make wudu and pray properly. So pray without wudu and just pray 2 instead of 4 for zuhr and 2 rakkahs for asr. Now they give me separate rooms and I can make wudu, but not able to wash or wipe my feet because the nurse won't let me and saying you can't bend your knees. It's not safe for you for the hospital. So I only wash my hands, mouth, nose, face, and 2 arms. Is my salah acceptable?
Yes, it is. And by the way, you should be combining. Don't just shorten the prayers, combine them. Because that's when combining the prayers is lawful when you're sick. Pray dhuhr and asr together and pray maghrib and isha together. And if you cannot make wudu for any reason, you pray without the wudu. And if all you can do is make wudu on your hands and face, then just do it on your hands and face. And Allah will give you the reward because Allah knows what you would have done were you not in the predicament that you're in. So yes, your prayers are accepted. Okay? And that's for everybody. And remember, whenever you get sick, you can combine. Even at home, if you're sick with the flu or something, you can combine. Yeah, traveling's not the only time. And Allah knows best. Yeah.
The next question is, what are some good cities or states that have a strong Muslim community that you would recommend to raise a Muslim?
I can't recommend nothing because we're living in the days of fitan, the days of the ruwaybida. I don't think nobody on this planet can answer that question. None of us on this planet can answer that question because there's fitna everywhere. There is no such thing as an Islamic utopia. Even if you went to Mecca, that you will not find an Islamic utopia. There's no Islamic utopia anywhere on planet Earth. Those days are gone. Those days disappeared with the companions. So you have to just go wherever you feel comfortable. Does everybody understand that? And I get a lot of those questions. I just want y'all to know there is no utopia anywhere on this planet. Can I recommend any masajid on earth to you? No. Because I know that there's fitna everywhere. And the stronger your faith, the more exposed to it you'll be. Why do y'all think I don't go to a mosque? Every time I go to a mosque, it's fitna, except for my purse, the one that my family is with. Mukhtar, the mosque, that's family. That's different. Okay? So there's fitna anywhere you go. So there's anybody that tells you that he knows of a utopia, he's a liar. Because you're going to find bad everywhere. Even in the Prophet's mosque, there's bad. So there is no such thing. And Allah knows best. Next question.
There are a few questions from here. The first one says, if people want to give you gifts and flower on your graduation, is that the same as imitating the Kafir?
That has nothing to do with anything. That is nothing but a person giving you a gift because you graduated. It's just what it says. You graduated from high school, so I'm giving you a reward. That's called a reward. That's not the same as celebrating a holiday because it has nothing to do with a holiday. And that's not the same as a birthday because you're not paying homage. You're not worshiping a person. I'm just giving you a reward for doing something good. We should reward each other for doing good things. So if somebody, your parents want to give you flowers as a reward for graduating from college, alhamdulillah. If somebody wants to give you $100 for graduating from college, good job, well done. So a reward is not the same as a gift of worship. That's not a gift of worship. That's a gift of reward. Gifts of worship are haram. Y'all understand that? If people give you a gift on your birthday, that's a gift of worship. They're giving you a gift for no reason. It ain't because I graduated college. It's not because I just had a baby. It's not because I just got married. It's not because I got well from being sick. You're giving me a gift because I was born. That's worship. Okay? Giving me a gift because it's Mother's Day. That's a gift because I'm a mother. Okay? This may not be an act of worship. Mother's Day, Father's Day don't fall in the act of worship, but it falls into violating wala wal barra, my allegiance, because it contradicts Islam. Islam says every day is Mother's Day. Islam teaches us every day is Father's Day. So giving me a gift on that day is compromising my Islamic values. So I don't accept no gifts on Mother's Day. I don't accept no gifts on Father's Day because it contradicts my belief system. Okay? The 4th of July. This has nothing to do with worship. New Year's Day. Nothing to do with worship. But again, it falls in the category of allegiance. Is my allegiance to Britain? Is my allegiance to America? Is my allegiance to the Pilgrims when the Pilgrims separated from England? Is my allegiance to every New Year? No. So I don't partake in that. I don't accept gifts for the new year. I don't accept gifts for 4th of July because it compromises my Islamic values. My allegiance is not to that. But now I completed 6 years of study. It took a lot of work to do that. So now that I have completed those 6 years of study and I have received a certificate saying that I am now officially one who has passed the exams and I have earned this right. So my parents want to give me a reward for that. That has nothing to do with my Islamic values. It has nothing to do with worship. That's okay. We need to reward each other more. If my husband wants to bring me a bouquet of flowers as a reward for standing by him, I'm going to throw those flowers in his face and say he imitating kafir. How is that imitating the kafir? Reward is not limited to kafir. We Muslims reward each other too. Okay? So do you understand the answer, people? Did I break it down so y'all can understand it? And besides that, you ain't even celebrating nothing. Giving me a flower because I completed a study, that ain't no celebration anyway. We ain't having no party. You just give it, this is a reward. Reward. I'm going to send you flowers, Sister Laila, as a reward for teaching us, to show my appreciation for you teaching us every day. You send me flowers. That's a reward of appreciation. Nothing to do with Islamic values. We're supposed to appreciate each other. We're supposed to reward each other. And Allah knows best. Everybody understand the answer? So anybody that tells you that that's imitating the kafir, that's a person who again falls in the category of the ruwaybidah. The ruwaybidah do not know the lawful and the unlawful. They do not know what imitation of the kafir means. To imitate a people means to do something that is specific to them. Since when did non-Muslims, were they the only people that rewarded anyone? The Prophet rewarded his companions. So Allah knows best. There's your answer. And there's your dalil.
Next question is, are we allowed to eat duck breast?
Okay, only Allah, it has the authority to make things haram. Allah doesn't mention anything about a duck or a duck's breast. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the things that Allah does not mention are lawful and good and clean. Learn to accept the concessions of Allah. So since Allah doesn't say that duck is haram, then it's lawful. And Allah knows best. Anybody that tells you it's haram, tell them to bring the clear evidence where Allah says thou shalt not eat duck or duck breast. Okay? And Allah knows best.
The next question is it true that the people who make it to paradise will be super tall and everyone will be 33 years old?
The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us in many authentic hadiths that when we enter paradise, we will go back to the original height of Adam. And Adam was the size of a palm tree. And that's how we will be. The human race became shorter and shorter and shorter and will continue to get shorter and shorter over time. And yes, we'll all be the age of 32. And Allah knows best.
What are the sins of a Muslim woman who leaves her home with perfume on?
Wait a minute, say that again.
the sins of a Muslim woman who leaves her home with perfume on?
Okay, I don't know why we keep getting this question about perfume. Perfume is not haram, but what is haram is for a woman to make herself a public spectacle. What does it mean to be a public spectacle? To be a public spectacle means to make yourself known publicly, for people to know that you are present, to know that you are there. And the reason why Allah forbids women from being public spectacles is not because he's oppressive. It's because Allah knows the nature of the human being. He knows that he created man. Man is weak. It doesn't take much for a man to become sexually aroused. And men have been blessed with physical strength over us women. I don't care how tough you are as a woman. And I'm a pretty tough woman. But I can't beat no man. I can probably hold him off for about 10 minutes, and that's it. After 10 minutes, he's going to get the better of me. So Allah didn't make no mistake in his creation. He knows that men are weak sexually. Just like we women are weak emotionally, they're weak sexually. And a man doesn't care about how you look physically. Beauty lies in the eye of the beholder. A man don't care about how your face look. He ain't even got to see your face, because the pleasure doesn't come from your face. The pleasure comes from within you. So, due to the weakness of men, when a woman is present, Allah says to protect the women of this nation, to protect us women from becoming so vulnerable that whenever we leave our houses to go public, because of how weak nature men are, don't make a public spectacle. What does that mean? Does that mean I can't be attractive? No. Allah says we don't worship no one but him. And Allah loves beauty. You wear your beautiful clothing. In fact, Allah says, oh, you who believe, wear your beautiful clothing to every house of worship. So I can put on my nice looking clothing and be clean and be attractive, but don't become a public spectacle. That means I'm going to make my point where some weak-minded man can notice me, and then his sexual desires take over him, and he follow me, and then he hurt me. That's what this means. So that's why the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Oh, you women who believe, the biggest temptation that I leave behind on earth for any man is you. You are their weakness. So when you women come to the mosque, do not wear perfume, because it will attract a man's attention to you, and he may harm you. Oh, you women who believe, when you leave your homes to go to the marketplace or to go anywhere, and you have to pass by a man, do not wear perfume, because a man don't care what you look like. You can have a kickstand for a leg. You can have two hands coming out. That ain't his pleasure. All he gonna do is kick that leg off, Cover your head up and go for that part of your body that brings him pleasure. And pleasure comes from that part of the body, no matter how you look. No matter how you women look, you can be the ugliest creature. The ugliest creature on earth. But that one part of your body is going to bring him the same pleasure that he would get from Marilyn Monroe. So do you sisters understand? I'm trying to break this down so you young girls stop asking this question. Men are weak sexually, and you don't feel no different than me. We all feel the same up there, women. We all feel the same up there. Some of us can work it a little better, but we all feel the same. You can just lay there and the man is getting his pleasure because Allah made us feel good that up there. Do you women understand what I'm saying, you young girls? So this is all for your protection as women. This is the Muslim woman's protection. So no perfume, because he's going to tip you over and go for that clean, good stuff that's every woman has up in her that don't feel no different. We all feel the same. It's just some can work it better. But you ain't even got to work it. Just lay there and he going to get that enjoyment. The same with makeup. Makeup is not haram. But do not make a public spectacle of yourself, sisters. Don't overdo it. Everything we do is with dignity. I have on makeup. The way that y'all see me made up. This is how Aisha, radiallahu anha, used to look, literally. This is how Salama used to look. They all wore kohol. And they all wore their kohol publicly. That's all I have on is kohol. That's it. We can wear makeup. But what we cannot do is become a public spectacle with it. What does that mean? That means I'm going to put on like what a lot of you sisters are doing. What a lot of you sisters are doing, putting on those fake eyelashes. Those fake eyelashes, bringing it up, looking like cows. Looking like caterpillars. That's a public spectacle. Putting on, what's that stuff they wear, that shimmer stuff. There's nothing wrong with you wearing eyeshadow. I don't have any on today. But sometimes I'll put on eyeshadow, but it's the color of my skin. It's natural. I wear the natural colors. When y'all see me with eyeshadow, it's because I got anemia. I am anemic. Sometimes I get so pale, I look like Casper the ghost. So I'll put on some eyeshadow. Aisha wore eyeshadow. When the people slandered her, accused her of adultery, all her hair fell out of her head. She lost the color of her skin. She lost a lot of weight. Her mother came to visit her. She was staying with her mother. Her mother came to her one day and said, "Oh, Aisha, oh, my daughter, do not allow these people to see how bad they've hurt you. So when you go outside, let me fix you up." So her mother, women been wearing makeup for years. Her mother took the petals of roses, put it on her lips that were pale. She took some flowers, the desert rose, and put it on her cheeks to put color to it. And she took the desert rose. The Arab women love the desert rose. And put it on her eyes. This is all history. To give her some color. And then she pinched her, kept pinching her. She said, "Oh, my daughter, do not let the scandal monger see how broke down they've made you." So when Aisha left to go answer the call of nature, she walked with her head up, her mother with her and the other women with her, because she didn't want them to see how broken she was. So makeup is not haram. The Prophet's wives wore it. All women wore it. Cleopatra wore it. King Tut's wife wore it. Makeup's been around since Allah made Eve. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But the way a lot of you sisters are wearing it is bad. Y'all looking like prostitutes. You're becoming public spectacles. You're bringing unnecessary attention to yourself. My eyebrows are natural. Just to answer a couple of questions. Because a couple of these brothers, I seen what y'all typed about me that I'm supposed to be. What is that? What's they call it? What is it called? I don't do that. What's it called? Whatever they do. Photoshop. These is Layla's real eyebrows. I'm Arab. I keep telling y'all I'm an Arab. I got the dark eyebrows. I come from the originals. These are my real eyes. Anybody in person will tell you this is Laila. I don't paint myself up to bring attention to me. This is natural. My lips. I have natural pink lips. And sometimes they get red because they chap. So I'll put on tint. This is not lipstick. This is lip tint. So that you can't see my chapped lips or the blood sometimes. Sometimes I have blood mixed in there. Hello. This is real. This is how I look. Period. Okay? So makeup is not haram, but it's what you sisters do with it. If you're putting it on, going out the house to make yourself a public spectacle, so some man can throw you upside down and get inside that one part of your body that feels just as good as any other woman's, then you doing some haram stuff. So we don't wear perfume outside the house because a man can smell you and be like, that's it, gotta have it. And we don't decorate our faces with all that prostitute look. So a man can say, oh, got to have it. Flip it up, put a bag on it, and go for the inside. Do you young girls understand now? See, a man ain't going to break it down to you like that. I'm a female. I'm going to break it down. And I look at you women as my daughters. I look at you girls in my Zoom room as my daughters. Learn. Your mama should have taught y'all this stuff. All right. And Allah knows best. Is that clear to her? This perfume crap?
Yeah, it's clear. And her last question was, if you pray the Jummah prayer at the mosque, is it as if you pray duhr, or do I also have to pray duhr too?
Okay, that's probably one of my new shahadas. The dhuhr prayer is the Jummah prayer. I mean, the Jummah prayer is the dhuhr prayer. If you're at the mosque, praying behind the imam on Friday, it's only 2 rakkahs. But if you're not praying behind the imam, then it's 4 rakkahs. Everybody understand? Sister AY, is somebody texting us? I'm looking at this phone. Oh, yeah, we do. Oh, well, yeah, we got questions on the phone too. Yeah, but that's what the dhuhr prayer, the Jummah prayer is the dhuhr prayer. Does everybody understand that? Yeah. If you're praying it with the imam at the mosque behind him, it's only 2 rakkahs. If you get to the mosque late and the imam has finished it, then you have to pray 4 rakkahs. You guys understand? Does that make sense to them? And I'm looking at your texts here too. I see it. It's hard to read this though. Okay, this person just sent me what I would say to you, sister, is beware of scam. You know, we've been speaking about how there's a lot of negativity about social media. You're going to get a lot of people sending you a bunch of messages saying, oh, I'm dying, or I lost my children. Oh, I live in Gaza. I need $1,000. You don't know these people, so don't send them anything. I'm telling you, don't send those people nothing. There's a lot of scammers out there. Even on my YouTube channel here, there's a couple of women who claim to be from Yemen, and they're not from Yemen because I got an IP tracker. When you come on Laila's website, I can trace your IP. These women live right here in Washington, D.C., but they keep coming on my YouTube channel, you know, typing how they live in Yemen and they've been raped and every day they got a new story. And my thing is, if you live in Yemen, how the heck you on the internet? Because it's been bombarded like crazy, man. And how can your stories change like they're doing? So I just simply delete it. I block them and delete it. And they keep getting new IPs coming back. But I've traced them. They're stationed right here in America, Washington, D.C., and they're using Bright Light Internet. Bright Light Internet is not in Yemen. That's an American-owned company. So don't fall for the game, guys. Yeah. So I wouldn't don't send no money to these people that you don't know anything about. All right. Allah knows best. Next question.
Okay, this question is going back to the birthday question. You see, the sister said, if you're not celebrating your child's birthday and instead give charity to the needy children back home and ask them to make dua for her child, is that lawful? No,
because all that you doing is celebrating the kid's birthday. I want you guys to understand, you can fool yourself, but we cannot fool Allah. If you wanted to send money and charity back home, why would you wait till your child's birthday to do it? That's how you know that you're a fraud. You're a fraud. You're a fraud. You can send money back home to the poor people any day of the year. Why are you choosing your child's birthday and then going to tell them to pray for your child? Your child is no God. Your child is nothing but a peon peasant that Allah created from a drop of sperm. So I want y'all to understand, birthdays are haram, haram, haram. Y'all better stop committing shirk. Remember, each and every one of us has a personal jinn assigned to us. That personal jinn is going to do everything in its power to get you to be in the hellfire with it as its companion. You people have to stop falling for the jinn. The bottom line, if the Prophet Muhammad didn't do it, if his companions didn't do it, and remember, nobody understands this religion better than they. If he didn't do it, if his companions didn't do it, then you don't do it either. There is no hadith on this planet that says the Prophet Muhammad would give in charity on his birthday. There is no hadith on this planet that says the companions gave to the poor children on their birthdays and said, make dua for me. So if they didn't do it, what the heck are y'all doing? And you know what? I hate to say it, but it's my job. I'm going to speak the truth. This is probably why we have a high apostasy rate. Do you people know that when you are worshiping your children, you're basically cursing them in a way? It's kind of like you're cursing them. Maybe that's why our children grow up and they apostate, because we worship them. We made our children equal to Allah to the point that we wouldn't even give in charity unless it was their birthday. We worshiped our children so much that we went around begging the people to pray for our kids. So maybe that's why as Muslims, we have a very high apostasy rate. We've cursed ourselves. Whenever we deviate away from Islam and its truthfulness, it brings about a lot of consequences. The bottom line, y'all got to let go of worshiping your kids. Your children are just a sperm. Look at your child as a sperm drop and keep it moving. And your children don't even belong to you. They just a temporary test for you. Allah says our children are a test for us. They don't belong to you. They belong to Allah. Allah gave you those kids to see what you gonna do with them. And many of us fail the test as women because we end up loving them too much to the point that we lose our soul to them. That's a problem. That's why I tell you sisters who can't have children, there's good in everything. The good in the fact that you can't have children is you ain't going to be tested with that, because there's going to be a lot of women in hell because they associated partners with Allah in regards to their kids. Exactly. It's no different than what the Kafirs do with Jesus. No different. Because you think it's Jesus' birthday, you're going to give in charity and tell the people to pray for Jesus. No different. Everybody understand? Yeah. Yeah, it don't matter who does it. Whoever's doing it is crazy. It don't matter. I'm not, I don't know. A lot of people, most people do it. I got some of my students still celebrate birthdays. Oh, yeah. I got some students here in my Zoom room who don't think I know they celebrate birthdays, but I see it. But that's on them. They're going to answer to Allah. Oh, yeah. We have to balance that love. Balance our love for our kids and family members. I don't love nobody more than Allah. You're going to catch me celebrating nobody's birthday. Period. Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, this next question here says, how can we make salat with makeup on? And what is it? How can we make salat with makeup on and using the bathroom and breaking it, like how passing gas and using the restroom breaks your salat?
First of all, what does makeup have to do with prayer? Remember, guys, that only Allah has the authority to tell you what you can and can't do when it comes to worshiping him. And our Prophet Muhammad completed that. The Prophet Muhammad didn't forget nothing. He didn't leave nothing out. Like Prophet's wives wore makeup. His daughter wore makeup. So if it was haram to pray with makeup on, there would be a verse saying it. We cannot make our own rules. We cannot make our own laws based on our ignorance. Remember that hadith I read earlier. The prophet said the people in the later generations will be ignorant. They won't know the lawful and the unlawful. They'll base everything on their stupid opinion. And they'll kill each other over their stupid opinions that have nothing to do with what I said. So that's an example. What does makeup? Ask the person who's answering the question, what does makeup have to do with prayer? This person think that because I got makeup on, something's wrong with my relationship with Allah? I need more information. So what is the person asking? And what was the part about the bathroom? I don't even know what that's about. What was she saying about, what is he?
Yeah, she's trying to put it together. She's trying to
yeah, because tell her it doesn't make sense. I don't know what she or he is talking about. I think it's a he. Because it's the men with these issues about makeup. So let's hear your opinion, bro. It might be the dude off of Odyssey. It might be the dude off of Odyssey. Because it's these brothers that's got a problem. They like to try to make it. They want women to be kickstands that they can just turn upside down and have their way with. So tell wherever it is and put it together, because I don't know what they're asking about the toilet and makeup and prayer. What does the toilet, makeup, and prayer got to do with anything? I don't know what they're saying. All right. Yeah, and while he's at or she is typing their question over, can you answer these? Ask these here.
Oh yeah. This first one here on YouTube. When I'm at work, may I shorten my prayers?
Oh, I didn't even see that question. So that shows how I'm behind on this. Other questions here. No, unless you're working a job like, say, for example, you're a doctor. And I remember when I had one of my surgeries, I think it was the bariatric surgery. Yeah, when I had my bariatric surgery, my doctor, Dr. Siddiqui, my bariatric surgery, that was about 15 years ago, y'all. When I had that bariatric surgery, it was supposed to be a 4-hour surgery, but it ended up being an 8-hour surgery. And I remember when I finally came out of the surgery, he said, well, Laila, he couldn't say Layla. He called me Laila. He said, well, Laila, thanks to you, I was able to combine my prayers today because your surgery, it lasted longer than I thought. I said, oh, okay. Yeah, and so I'm using it as an example. You're a doctor. You have to do surgery. You don't know if the surgery will take 4 hours. It might go longer. So to be smart, you're going to do zuhr and asr together. So that way because you can't stop the surgery and go pray. So if you're a doctor or something like that, yes. But for a regular job, you just working a regular job? No. That's the purpose of Allah giving each prayer its time. Allah says in the Quran, every prayer has its time frame. And the reason why Allah did that was he wants us to show him that we believe in him. He wants you to break away from the life of this world to remember him. As an imaging technician, you can take a break and go pray because you are not a doctor, baby cakes. All you doing is sitting there. What type of imaging technician? Yes, you can. No, it don't take but a few minutes to take that picture. You can take a break and go pray. You're not doing an operation of life and death. An operation is somebody's life in your hands. You do, as an imaging technician, you can schedule your prayer around your job. If zuhr comes in at 1 o'clock, asr comes in at 5 o'clock, you can make zuhr anytime between 1 and 5. You are not sitting there like a surgeon. Dr. Siddiqui was in surgery from 9 o'clock in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He couldn't take no break. That's my life in his hands. You understand the difference? A teacher, nobody's life is in your hand. You pray. You guys pray. You have to take a break from your job and go pray. The same way you guys take a break and go answer the call of nature. Let me talk about myself for a minute. I remember when I was in the 3rd grade, Mrs. Weathersby. Boy, that teacher was crazy. I'll never forget her. Miss Weatherby. My mother had to go up to the school and put her in check so many times. I remember Miss Weatherby. She tried to make me stand up and do the Pledge of Allegiance. My mother got dressed in her black, her and my godmother, Sister Kalima. They went up to that school. My mother said, I'll have the black nationalists, the Black Panthers, and all the Muslims in Cleveland surround this school if you make my daughter do the Pledge of Allegiance again. You know, let me tell you about Miss Weathersby. I was in the 3rd grade. My mother told me when the time for prayer come, you raise your hand and you tell Miss Weathersby that you got to go to the bathroom. She said, and then when you go to the bathroom, she said, instead of going to the bathroom, you find a place in the stairway and make your prayer. And that's what I did. From the 3rd grade all the way through school, I would raise my hand and say, Miss Weatherby or Miss Edwards, whoever the teacher was, I have to use the bathroom. They give you the pass. And I'd go and I used to pray in the stairwell. I'd go down and pray in the stairwell. So the same way you take a break to use the bathroom, take a break to go pray. And you ain't got to tell them. I didn't tell them what I was doing. I told her I had to use the bathroom. And then I would go and pray underneath the stairs. So that's what you do, Miss Jackson. If you a teacher, okay, they allow you to use the bathroom. So you tell your children you got to go to the bathroom, and then you go to the teacher's lounge and you pray. That's all. It's just that simple. When I was a substitute teacher, that's what I did. Oh, yeah. Laila was a teacher. Oh, yeah. I was a substitute teacher, Cleveland Heights school system, and also South Euclid. I got to take a break, go into the teacher's lounge, and I'd pray. And yes, you can do it in the lounge. That's the lounge I'm talking about. That's the lounge I'm talking about. Go into the bathroom. Yes, we can pray in the bathroom. The entire earth is a place of worship. I would go right in the bathroom, especially in college. I would go right into the girls' bathroom, the lounge area, and pray. Yep. I wouldn't hit the floor, though. I'd pray standing, doing the bowings and stuff. I wouldn't hit that floor. That floor would be too dirty for me, so I would stand up and do the bowings and all that. I would stand and pray. But yes, you can pray in the bathroom. Just stand up and do it. Don't get on the floor. Stand up and do the bows and all that. And when you go for prostration, just bow a little bit more. As the prophet said, if you cannot pray sitting, pray standing. If you cannot pray standing, pray sitting. So that's what you do. You go into the bathroom and just pray standing. Standing. Yes, real easy. The religion is so easy. You know, we make it hard, but it's so easy. Yes. Yeah. Any other questions there?
Yeah. Okay. So the question from earlier, it was supposed to say, let's see. Okay. Some men say that women break their wudu. So the question is, does a woman break a man's wudu, and does the man breaking the woman's wudu?
Okay, this is why we have to learn our religion. This is the ruwaybida. The ruwaybida, like the prophet said, most Muslims won't know the basics. We won't even know how to pray. We won't even know the lawful and unlawful. We don't even know what breaks the wudu. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us the things that break the wudu. And a woman does not break a wudu. In fact, we have the hadith of Ibn Masud. What's the source? What's the source? Sahih Bukhari. One day, the Roman women, let me give y'all the story, because it seems to be get lost with these. So we have the incident, whereas the women back then were just like the women are today. The jealousy that we suffer with. As Islam spread throughout the Roman Empire, the Persians, the women would come in delegations with their husbands to seek knowledge of the religion. Instead of going to Aisha, they would go to Ibn Masud the same way today. Instead of you sisters coming here to me, asking me the religion, you rather go ask some man. Well, one day, the women were asking about the prayer, and Ibn Masud told them that 3 things break the prayer: a donkey, a dog, and a woman. If a donkey, a dog, or a woman walks in front of you, your prayer is broken. When the women heard that, that's when they ran to Aisha. Oh, Ibn Masud. And Aisha got mad. She said, first of all, I blame you women. She said, why do you women keep going to him, asking him questions about yourselves instead of me? And that's when she left the house and she said, Ibn Masud, you are wrong. She said, now you done put us in a category of a donkey and a dog. She said, don't you know, Ibn Masud, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to pray in my house at night, and I was his sutra, and I was on my menses, and whenever he wanted to bow, he would touch my leg like this so I can move it. And then she told the women, you women need to stop stirring up trouble. Come to me and learn from me instead of going to Ibn Masud, putting us in this position. The same way I tell you sisters today. Like I said, history repeats itself. It just repeats itself. So that authentic hadith is the dalil that a woman does not break a man's prayer. Any man that tells you that doesn't know this religion correctly, because he's following. I repeat, he's following. I repeat, he's following a madhab, the madhab of Imam Hanafi. Imam Hanafi, his madhab is the one that believes that. But Imam Hanafi, he was not of the original companions. Imam Hanafi did not understand this religion better than Aisha did. So there's your dalil. So no, a woman does not break a man's prayer. And you sisters have to be careful who you are learning from. If they're not backing up their teachings with the hadiths like I'm doing, they're teaching you from some madhab of Imam Hanafi, you ain't learning correctly. And Allah knows best. Was that her question?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And alhamdulillah, Sister Laila, I got it. I see your text message, Sister Laila. We got it. Alhamdulillah. May Allah bless you. Yeah. Next question.
Next question is, regarding my income versus my husband's income. My income, I can do whatever I want with, right? Or do I have to check in with my husband's first? And my husband's money, I have to ask him first.
Okay, this is where these madhabs come in. And a lot of you sisters I can see who are coming here today with these questions come from madhabs. Okay, and again, we have to learn the religion with the understanding of those companions. No one understood this religion better than they, not Imam Hanafi, no one. Allah is clear in the Quran. A woman's money is hers. It's mine. That's one of the rights that Allah gave us women. We have the right to own our own property. We have the right to our own money and all of that. It's my money that I work for. It doesn't belong to him. I can do what I want with my money. Do I have to ask him? No, it's mine. Okay? His money. Allah is clear in the Quran that the man is the provider, maintainer, and protector. The money that he has is what's used to provide, maintain, and protect. We have a hadith. This is before Salama. Before Salama married the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she was married to Abu Salama. And she had asked the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she said, oh, a prophet of Allah. She said, if I want to help my husband out by taking some of my money, because Salama was not a poor woman. She said, if I want to help my husband out with the children by offering some of my money so he can help take care of the kids, she said, can I do this? And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, yes, it will count as a charity for you. The simple fact that it's not your job. What's the source? This is Sahih Bukhari. Sahih Bukhari. He said the simple fact that it is not your job as a Muslim woman to provide, to maintain anything you do for Abu Salama's children will count as charity for you. Okay? So that hadith right there is the clear evidence too. A woman's money is hers. I don't have to use my money to buy the food or to anything. That's his job. It's the husband's job to provide, to maintain. But if I want to help him to do that, it will count as a charity for me. Do you sisters understand? You sisters got it? It will count as a charity for you if you should decide to help him with that. But it's not your job. Does that answer her question? Fame?
Yeah, it does.
It does. It's clear. Okay, good question.
Yes, and then the brother here wants to know, when you are praying and you end your prayer because you have to use the bathroom, do you have to start the prayer over?
Yeah, if you walk away from, he's making salat and he stops praying because he got to use the bathroom. Yes, you got to pray it over because you didn't complete it. And by the way, guys, a lot of us do that. A lot of times we'll try to keep our wudu, so we have, no. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, and then this is another, all these hadiths I'm giving y'all are in Bukhari, and they're in Muslim too. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if you have to answer the call of nature, go answer the call of nature and then pray. Because if you don't, while you're praying, you're going to be sitting there saying, let me hold it, gotta hold it, gotta hold it. That's going to mess up your khushu', your concentration. And the same with eating. If the food is ready, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, eat and then pray. Otherwise, you're going to be praying thinking, oh, I can't wait to get that chicken. Can't wait to get that chicken. And it'll mess up your khushu'. But yes, if you were making salat and had to abandon the prayer to answer the call of nature, yeah, you got to go make it over. Because guess what? You got to make wudu over anyway. You done broke your concentration. You ain't facing the direction of the Qibla no more. Yes, you have to pray it all over. Exactly. And Allah knows best.
The next question is, I don't know which hadiths are authentic and which are not, and when people are misunderstanding or misinterpreting the hadith, how do I tell when people are giving a good advice?
And this is the problem today, because most people don't know the hadiths. Like the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the first thing that will disappear of the knowledge is his sunnah, the hadiths. The people will be able to recite the Quran, but they won't understand it because they won't know the hadiths. For you sisters, my students, I always tell them, if you're putting a project together and you want to use hadiths, only use Bukhari and Muslim, because all the hadiths in Bukhari and all the hadiths in Sahih Muslim are authentic. But even with Sahih Muslim, you got to be careful because there's a few hadiths that have been abrogated. Okay? So I tell my students to stick with Bukhari and Muslims so they don't be put in a compromised position. And for the rest of you, you're just going to have to be very, very careful who y'all listening to. Because a lot of the Shiite, for example, they make up hadiths. They don't even deal with Bukhari and Muslim. All their hadiths are man-made. Okay? The Mu'tazila Sufis. The Mu'tazila, they use a lot of hadiths that are not authentic. Let me give y'all a couple examples. Paradise lies at the foot of the mother. That hadith is not authentic. It's fabricated. Another example of all the things that Allah made lawful that he dislikes the most is divorce. That's a lie too. So you guys are going to have to just be careful who y'all listen to. And when a person does ask, quote a hadith, ask them for the source. Ask them, can you tell me the source? Is that a Bukhari hadith? Is that a Muslim hadith? Ask them. When people are talking, ask them, what's the source of that hadith, brother? Is it a Bukhari hadith? Is it a Muslim hadith? Is it a fabricated hadith? What's the grade of it? Who graded it as Hassan? Hassan means it's good. Ask them, what's the grade? Is it daif? Is it weak? Did Sheikh Albani say that it's authentic? You know, did Tirmidhi say it's authentic? You know, y'all got to ask the right questions to people. These brothers and sisters who are giving these lectures, because I'm going to tell you, if they are anything like me, I only deal with, I could give y'all other hadiths, but most of the hadiths I use with y'all are all Bukhari or Muslim or Muwatta. I only deal with those three because I'm not going to give nobody a chance to come and try to cut me down. All right. So if they're good speakers, they're going to give you authentic hadiths. If they're really people of knowledge, they're going to use what's authentic. So you ask them, what's the source? And by the way, Riyadh Salihin is not a source. The 40 hadiths of Imam Nawawi is not a source. If they tell you the source is Riyadh Salihin, that person don't know anything. I wouldn't listen to him about nothing. Or if they say the 40 hadiths Imam Nawawi, that's not a source either. I would say, thank you, have a good day, and I would be done with that person. Because that's a person that doesn't even know what a source is. So that's the only thing I can tell you guys. That's why you have to ask them who graded it. If somebody is using some hadith from Ibn Majah, and by the way, guys, 65% of the hadiths in Abu Dawood are not authentic. 60% of the hadiths in Tirmidhi are not authentic. The same with Ibn Majah. A lot of those other books, they have more hadiths that are not authentic in them than are. So ask the person that's speaking. Ask them who graded it. What's the grade? And who gave the grade? But if they're a person of knowledge, they're not going to be using those type of hadiths. I don't use stuff like that. If I'm going to use a Tirmidhi hadith or Ibn Majah hadith, I'm going to give you the grade and who graded it. So that's not an educated person, in my opinion. All right. Any other questions? Go ahead.
The next question is, what are the rewards of the masjid for the men, and what does it do for the women?
The masjid is no reward for a woman. The woman's reward is at home, and I tell you sisters that all the time. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said a woman gets more blessings praying by herself in her bedroom than praying with me in my mosque. And he was the prophet. So if you think you getting reward with these other men, ain't happening. But for a man, praying at the mosque is everything. All the hadiths that speak about congregational prayer are for you brothers. The man gets more reward praying at the mosque than anywhere else. So what you sisters need to do is encourage your husbands to go to the mosque to pray. And the simple fact that you encouraged him to pray at the mosque, not only are you getting more reward staying home, but you're getting his reward for him going to the mosque because you encouraged it. Do you women understand that? You understand? So the mosque is not the place for the woman, but it is for the man. Your place is the home. Your home is better for you. We women get more blessings sitting here at home, listening to crazy Laila. You get more reward listening to crazy Laila, learning from Laila, than you are listening to the Imam. Even if Kareem Abu Zayd, and if Kareem listening, even if Kareem Abu Zayd was in your masjid right now, giving a lecture, you're getting more rewards sitting at home with lailanasheeba having her teach than listening to him. Why? He ain't gonna tell you nothing that I can't tell you. And I might can go in better detail because I'm the female. I'm the woman. So that's the beauty of us women. We get our blessings here at home. But send your husband to the mosque to learn from Kareem Abu Zayd. Brother man need to get up, go learn from Kareem. But you can stay right here and listen to Laila. Okay? Yeah. All right, go ahead, sister family. Yeah.
Okay, this other question is anonymous. Let me pull it up. My kids go to other relatives' home and see that they celebrate birthdays, and they come home and expect me to celebrate their birthdays. How do I deal with this?
You deal with the same way my mother dealt with it with me. I grew up in the 60s, guys. Civil rights era. Scary time here in America. I was scared as a child because of the racism and segregation, and it was crazy, the 60s. And I was the only Muslim. You know, in my school, we didn't have Muslim schools, and I was never, let me make this point, I was never part of the nation of, I was never an Elijah Muhammad. No, I ain't never believed nothing but Muhammad ibn Abdullah, Dor Rasulullah. So I grew up in some bad times. I was Muslim, Sunni, Salafi, okay? And I remember I felt weird as a kid. I was 7, 8. The kids doing Christmas. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer used to come on TV. Y'all remember Rudolph with the red nose? Frosty the Snowman? My mother wouldn't let me watch no Frosty the Snowman. You know, to this day, I've never seen Frosty the Snowman. My mother said, it ain't gonna be none of that kaffir crap in this house. And we had black and white TVs back then, too. No Frosty the Snowman, no Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, no Mr. Jingling. How you jingling? None of that crap. And I say, why come the other kids get presents for Christmas and I don't? My mother said, because you a Muslim. Why come I can't have a birthday party? Because you a Muslim. Do you worship yourself? My mother said, or do you worship Allah? Do you believe that some big fat man gonna come down this chimney and bring you some presents? Or do you believe that everything good that happens comes from Allah? See, you gotta teach your children. The children understand too, guys. I was 6, 7, 8, 9. I understood. I would go to school and tell the kids, I don't celebrate Christmas. I don't celebrate St. Thanksgiving. I don't celebrate Arbor Day. Ain't no Rudolph the Red-Nosed, no Frosty the Snowman. I don't even play with Barbie dolls. No Barbie dolls, no Ken. None of that dating program. They had games called, y'all remember that game? Your Mystery Date, no mystery date. None of that. I had a Mr. Potato Head. That's about it. And I had a slingy. Slingy. You know, you have to tell your children. You'd be surprised how children are receptive. They're more receptive than adults are because the fitra is in their heart. And that fitra is awakened for them. It only starts to die out as they get older, because of what you indoctrinate them with. So you just tell them, we don't celebrate birthdays because we're a Muslim and our allegiance is to Allah and to the religion of Islam, not to Kafirism, like my mother told me. Don't nobody worship you because you was born. What makes you think you deserve a present because you came in this world? Did you make yourself come in? That's what my mother told me. I said no. And I was like, you're right. I don't deserve no present. I don't care. So just come out and tell your children. Back in the 60s, our parents told us. And we didn't have a problem with it. We accepted it and kept it moving. And we didn't even have any Muslim schools back then or Muslim restaurants. And I was the only Muslim, subhanAllah, in my whole school. Nobody knew what a Muslim was. They called me the flying nun. Oh, yeah, I was the 60s. I was Sally Field. Here comes the flying nun. Yep, the flying nun. SubhanAllah. So just tell them. We're so weak today. This nation today, we're weak. We had nothing in the 60s. But the people of the 60s were stronger in deen. We were stronger in our faith and practice in the 60s than we are today in the 2024. Spoiled little people. Muslims today are spoiled. Good Lord. Yeah, next question.
Next question is, I can't afford to perform hajj this year, so do I fast 10 days of Dhul Hijjah instead?
Okay.
Also,
okay, let me answer that part first. First of all, you don't have to fast any days except the days of Ramadan. The only obligatory fast that we have as Muslims is Ramadan. Ramadan is over. That's it. And where's my dalil? A Bedouin man converted to Islam and he came to the Prophet. What's the source? Bukhari. He said, "O Prophet of Allah, I just converted to Islam. Can you tell me what is expected of me in regards to fasting?" The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "You only have to fast the month of Ramadan." The man said, "Do I have to fast any other days?" The Prophet said, "No, unless you want to." The man said, "Well, I'll only fast the month of Ramadan." And he walked away. So you don't have to fast at all. People fast the days of Dhul Hijjah because they want to, but it's not an obligation. And by the way, sisters, if you have not made up your fast of Ramadan, any other fast is not going to count anyway. Allah does not reward you for the voluntary deeds if you have not completed the obligatory ones. So I want to make that point too. Okay? So you don't have to fast at all. If you want to do those 10 days, you can, if you've completed Ramadan. And as far as not being able to make Hajj, Hajj is only obligatory upon you if you meet the conditions. Number one, you have to have the money because Hajj is for the rich, not for the poor. If you don't have the money to make hajj, you do not meet the criterion. So it's not incumbent upon you. Number two, if you are a woman, you have to have a mahram. A woman cannot travel like that without a man to protect her, because hajj is rough. The men will push you. The men will kick you. Some will even spit on you. And you can't fight back. You're going to need your husband to throw his body over you to protect you. So if you don't have a mahram, hajj is not obligatory upon you either. Okay? So don't worry about it. Since you don't meet the criterion, you're good to go. Don't worry about the hajj. Okay? And Allah knows best. And what's the next part of her question?
I have no idea how to sacrifice an animal in the state. How can we do that? Or how does that work if you're in the US?
Okay, again, the sacrifice is not obligatory either unless you meet the criterion. And what they do is, well, you know, I don't know, every state has different rules. Here where I live in Ohio, we go to Amish country. The people in Ohio, we'll go, and where I live in Cleveland, we go out to Amish country and do our sacrifice. The Amish people got a good relationship with the Muslims here in Cleveland, and we work together with that. Okay, but if you can't do it in your state, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. If you don't have the money to sacrifice, first of all, it costs money. You got to pay for that goat. You got to pay for that lamb. And goats and lamb aren't cheap anymore. You're going to pay some money to sacrifice, and it's not obligatory for you to do it. But if you do have the money to sacrifice, if you want to do the second part of your question, which is send the money to sacrifice for someone else in a different place, yes, you could do that. For example, like we did here with the Muslims in Ghana. If you want to send some money to the Muslims in Ghana to sacrifice a lamb for their village or whatever for their village, you can do that if you want. Yes. For the second part of your question, yes, you can do that. But is it obligatory to sacrifice if you don't meet the criterion? No. You got to have the money. Okay? And all of that. You understand, Ms. Jackson? Does that get your question? Yeah, the religion of Islam is not as hard as people make it out to be. And I know Miss Jackson's one of my new shahadas. Yeah, she's one of my new people here. So yeah, don't worry about it. You don't meet the criterion for none of that. Don't worry about it. You don't have to do nothing. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Yeah, make up your days from Ramadan though. And by the way, sisters, you only have until the beginning of next Ramadan to make those days up. And the thing is, you don't know how long you're going to be living. You might die. Fall and hit just head on a piece of cornbread. Ain't that what Mary Mack did? You know, Mary Mack. She was dressed in black. She fell and hit her head on a piece of cornbread and she died. 1960s. Y'all remember Mary Mack?
I heard of that.
Remember that? Oh, Mary Mack, all dressed in black. Remember that? Oh, yeah. So make those days up. And by the way, guys, keep track of how many days you have to make up, because should you die, your husband or your children or your friend can fast those days for you, because all debts that we owe to Allah, you know, that's a debt that can be paid off by your family by making them days up. But keep a track of the days you got to make up from Ramadan. But you never know. You might do like Mary Mack, be dressed in black and fall. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
This last question here. Majority of the people say it's not permissible for sisters to wear makeup outside the home, especially not in front of a non-mahram man. What do you have to say about this matter?
We still get this same, I just answered that question. Now, I tell y'all, these brothers coming here with the same crap. Is Islam based on the majority of the people? First of all, guys, I want to remind you, the majority of the people will be in hell. Did y'all know that, brothers? The Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said out of every 1,000 people that you know, 999 of those people will be in hell because of what come out their mouth, mostly. So do we care about what the majority of people say or do? This is a question I want y'all to know. And by the way, most of you do not know who the people of knowledge are. Don't say that, because I don't know anyone who has knowledge that says makeup is haram. Y'all got to remember, these people y'all listen to in America are not people of knowledge. Most of them are Mu'tazila, who don't even believe in the Qadr of Allah. I know a lot of people of knowledge, and I don't know any of them that says makeup is haram. So your people may know more than you, but they ain't nobody that anybody else would reverence. Because again, Islam is not based on a majority of people. Islam is based on only two sources, brother. The Quran and the authentic hadiths. Number two, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, what's the source? Bukhari. He said the lawful and the unlawful in regards to Islam has been clearly defined by Allah. If something is unlawful, there will be a nas or a verse from the Quran, or a nas, which means verse from him saying that it's unlawful. If there is no nas, no clear nas from the Quran saying that something is haram, then that means it's good and clean, which means it's lawful. And the Prophet said, you have to learn to accept what Allah says is lawful. So now, anybody that tells you that it is haram for a woman to wear makeup outside the house, they have to bring the verse from the Quran that says the women of this nation cannot wear makeup outside the house. That's clear. Or they have to bring the hadith where the Prophet Muhammad said, the women of this nation, including my wives and my daughter, because there are a bunch of hadiths about his wives and daughter wearing makeup. I gave y'all some. So whoever you think is people of knowledge, where's their dalil, Brother Jay? As Muslims, we don't argue this religion. We don't debate it because the lawful is clear and the unlawful is clear. So I don't know who you listen to, who are your people of knowledge. But my people of knowledge know that if something is haram, they have to bring the clear proof. So where's the proof of these people? Can you bring me any authentic verse from the Quran or any authentic hadith that forbids a woman to wear makeup outside the house? I challenge you. I challenge you. There is no such verse. There is no such hadith. So I don't know who your people of knowledge are, They must not be too knowledgeable. Like the prophet said, most people are going to be in hell. Hello. Drop the mic. Next. And by the way, sisters, don't listen to the majority of people because of that hadith. The majority of the people will be in hell because they don't know this religion, not because they do. All right. Yeah. Yeah, these are the brothers. I get those brothers that come in here with this every time. I did this. I did the Dramali, y'all. Dramali always does the testimony of faith. Friends, no, I did the Dramali. All right, yeah. Okay, guys, this was a good Q&A. I know I started late, so I let this one go on to 11:30 because I know I started the session late today, and I do apologize for being late, but y'all know I've been dealing with issues. Laila been dealing with a lot of issues, y'all know that. But I want to thank everybody for joining. You had some wonderful questions here, sisters. I really hope that I broke these answers down for you. I gave you the dalil. I tried to give you examples from the companions themselves. And I want you guys to check out, the hadith. And remind me to go over it with you guys tomorrow at 6. We're talking about makeup. Oh, my God. Right there in Sahih Bukhari. When Allah sent down the command about the hadith. The hadith that we have to have to sacrifice for the hajj. This is when Ali, radiyallahu anha, he was preparing the people for the hajj. And he had his wife, Fatima, the daughter of the prophet, with him. And when Allah sent down the rules about the hadith, that's when and he told Fatima to go back and tell the people what the rules are for the hadi and the ihram and all of that. She said, I got my makeup on. It's right there in Bukhari. She said, I got my makeup on. So she said, if I had known that, then I would have taken it off, because that's when the rule came down. Now, when a woman is making hajj, she has to take off some part of the hajj. She has to remove some of that makeup or something. And she said, if I got my makeup on, if I'd have known that, I wouldn't have put it on. And she was outside. That hadith is right there in Bukhari, right with the stuff. I mean, if you got to learn from the true people of knowledge, guys. Just because a person calls himself a person of knowledge don't mean he is. Until they learn them hadiths, they ain't a person of nothing. Okay? And don't come at me with that stuff, because I know them hadiths, subhanAllah. And by the way, we're going to discuss that hadith tomorrow. Let me write that down. Y'all were supposed to remind me about the hadith. Let me write this down, the hadith, because there was a brother here that wanted to know about. Yeah, I'm writing it down now. I'll put that together for tomorrow for the brother. Brother, I wrote it down. Is that Brother Ibrahim in here? I got it written down. I'm going to stick it on my computer so I can go over that hadith with you tomorrow from Bukhari. I forgot about it until this person here asked about that. Yeah, I'm going to put it right here on my computer. He was talking about the hadith. The hadith. Yeah. All right, guys. So tomorrow we have Dr. Asim. Dr. Asim's class is at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then you have my class at 6, which I will talk about that hadith with that brother tomorrow. And then we have this weekend, I'm going to finish up the book of Prohibitions of Imitation from Sheikh Adley's book. We're going to finish that book this weekend, because next week, Dr. Dramali, and by the way, Geechee, get on it. Dr. Jamali will begin his series on the tafsir of Surah Nisa for you guys. That's going to replace the class on prohibitions of imitation. All right. Okay, guys, I'm going to log out for right now. Inshallah, I'll try to put this video out tonight. You guys, and don't forget, Brother Ibrahim, I got it written down. I'll go over that hadith with you. I'm going to put it together tonight because I ain't sleepy. I can't sleep. All right. Okay, so I'm going to close out for tonight. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Everybody have a good night.